So I've been using robot vacuums for, yeah, I think 15 years or something like that. And to date I've had 5 Roombas, I think. So they pretty much last me about 2 to 3 years each. Been happily with them, and this is also the reason why I kept buying them. But they pretty much haven't done much, really. If you look at the first generation to the latest one I have now, I haven't bought the premium versions. I've been usually buying what would in euro be around 300 euros, something like that, in that price range. The basic line, if you will, which has done the job pretty well. But I have a fairly big house, so it can't by any means vacuum the entire house in one sweep. It needs to be moved and charged several times. So I was kind of interested in if I could get a vacuum cleaner that could actually sort of resume from where it left off when it's depleted from power, and then go back. So I searched the web for that and came up with a lot of very expensive robots. But then I stumbled upon a few videos talking about the Xiaomi Mi, sorry about the pronunciation, which is a Chinese company that makes these both a lot of electronics, so phones and other stuff, but also this robot vacuum cleaner, the Mi, that supposedly is very good and in a totally different price range. So this has cost me around 200 euros plus import taxes, again, since I'm in the EU and this is shipped from China. But roughly around 200 euros is the cost. And the big selling point of this bad boy, which I'm gonna put here. So what you get is, I'm guessing this is some sort of manual. Then we get the vacuum cleaner itself. And so what the selling point is really here, what sets it apart from the other vacuum is this little tower that you see on the top, because that's actually a laser designator. So that rotates with a lot of rotations per second and constantly scans the surroundings of this vacuum cleaner, which enables it to actually sort of map the room that it's in and then draw a map of the house that it's vacuuming. And this enables it to do a different algorithm than what you usually see from robot cleaners, because the Roombas, they pretty much bump into everything and spend a lot of time. The kitchen I have, it takes roughly perhaps an hour for it to vacuum, and that's like this room is about 40 square feet. And that takes the Roomba about an hour because it comes over the same place a lot of times, again, because it uses this mathematician algorithm to how it calculates that it does clean the entire room, but again it's not effective because it could be done a lot faster if it only took like one sweep over the same area. I don't think that this only takes one sweep, but it's supposed to be much more optimized, since again it has an idea of where it is and whether or not it has been a place before, which should also enable it for resuming vacuuming once it needs to go back to the charging station and then come back to where it left and then pick it up again, which again actually would enable me in the perfect scenario to vacuum my entire house while I'm away, and don't have to bother about whether or not that would take the 2 or 3 charging recycles. It should be able to find back and then resume. So this is pretty much what I'm going to test out. This is not easily available in the EU. Again, I had to get this from China. Supposedly it's the app that accompanies it is also in English now. It used to be, what the videos I've seen, it used to be in Chinese, which kind of made it difficult. So this is also sort of a test whether or not to see is this really simple to use, or do I need to pick up Chinese in order to get this to work. So yeah, let's get going. Okay, let's try and do an everyday example of how you would start the cleaner. So you download the app, the Mi Home app. You pair the vacuum cleaner. I'm not going to go through that. I'll leave you a link for one of the other videos that can explain that to you. It's really not that complicated. Once you get that, you can add your vacuum cleaner as a widget. The reason for this is that this particular app, Mi Home, supports more than just the vacuum cleaner from Xiaomi. So they have a lot of different appliances that you can control, and you can add them in your app. So when I select my vacuum cleaner here, you see that it shows me the map of the last run it did. And if you look a little bit closer here, you can see where actually the path it's been following. And this also demonstrates, that it doesn't just do fuzzy logic and goes around in a random pattern. It scans the room and follows a planned map, which again enables it to do the cleaning much faster, because it doesn't go over the same place pretty much more than once or twice perhaps, which is totally different from the Roomba, which covers the same area a lot of times because it doesn't really exactly know where it is. But let's just start up the cleaner, and that is done by selecting the clean button. You have a couple of options here. So you have the turbo mode, you have the balanced mode, and the full speed max mode, which pretty much just how much noise it makes and how powerful I guess the suction is. Let's just start it up. And what you can hear is that it says starting the cleaner. So this will work over the internet also. So it's not just because I'm home and it's on my own Wi-Fi. This will work over the internet. So you can see now it starts scanning and moves about pretty much. So if we actually just go back to my phone here, we can see actually in real time how the vacuum cleaner is now, it's reset the map, so it doesn't sort of remember the house from the last time, and this is initially perhaps a little puzzling, but I'm guessing the strategy is that they don't trust, that the house looks the same, that obstacles that weren't there the last time could be there now. So it starts over. So the map is more of a funny gimmick, really. You can't point to a certain room and say go there and clean. It doesn't work like that. Okay, let's just pause the clean. Okay, so I just want to give you guys an example of where this vacuum cleaner actually did have problems, and something that I have had to change in my house. So this carpet really annoyed the Xiaomi Mi vacuum cleaner. It's not that it's you can see it's not really a tall edge or something. That I think it's more to the nature of this the carpet being the fabric being fairly long, sort of hairy, which sort of made it it didn't stop usually, but it moved around the carpet in a sort of erratic pattern. So this is one of the examples of where. Actually, the one example I've seen where this vacuum cleaner is not as good as the Roombas I've had, because the Roombas pretty much just moved about this carpet without any problems, whereas we've had to remove this carpet, which is again not a big sacrifice for us, but for others, this might have been an issue. So yeah. So I've had this cleaner now for like a month or so. I'm extremely happy with it, and the best indication of that is that I've sold my old Roomba, because this is far superior. It cleans my entire house in around 1.5 hours. It actually at the time, with the battery not being new, it does it in one sweep. I showed you the carpet problem just earlier, and when when I did have the carpet still in the living room, it sometimes had to go back to the dark because it used a lot of energy, you know, moving around this carpet that annoyed it. And again, this is one of the few disadvantages I find with this robot is that you know, it couldn't handle that specific carpet. It was not a big problem for us to take that compromise, and it's something I in general will say that buying these types of vacuum cleaners, you should be prepared to take some compromises in your house in how you set it up, so that these devices work the best. That specifically goes for, you know, the type of fabrics that you have in your carpets, which is exampled by this. Also, you know, the door edge between the two rooms, how big is it? This is a fairly new house, so we buy from the start, you know, instructed the constructors to leave them very flat, so that it could move from one room to another, you know, without having to be physically, you know, lifted into the next room. That will make sure that you get the full advantages of these new line robots that can resume cleaning from one room to another. I'm very happy about also the app. It works great. It integrates very nicely with my Apple Watch, so I get a notification when it's done. That could be handy, for instance, if you have an alarm system that you need to turn off while it's moving about, so not to annoy the motion sensors. So you exactly know, when it's done, and then can turn on the alarm system again. It's more quiet than the Roomba, but that's not a big thing for us because usually we don't have it running while we are actually at home. But I would say, we would probably be more likely to do so now because again, you wouldn't probably start a Roomba in a big room once you're home because it takes a lot of time and it's fairly noisy. Since this uses a totally different way of moving around, since it uses this laser to map the room, it's much faster, and gets the job done. So again, probably would be okay with having it doing its job while we were at home. Since it is faster, and doesn't go over the same spot a lot of times, you will notice, perhaps like me, that in a kitchen area, if you drop something like sugar, this will be difficult for the Xiaomi Mi to get all of it, unlike the Roomba, because again the Roomba uses a lot of time in the same area and goes over the same spot a lot of times, so it has a higher accuracy in getting all of the particles like sugar that could spread over the floor, where this sometimes can leave a little residue behind. A disadvantage, but again, for me, that is totally weighed up by the fact that the Roomba will then only do one room, and this will do a lot of rooms in my entire house, in fact. Since it does do all of these rooms, you should also, be aware that if you don't vacuum often, the first run we did, I was quite surprised, that even though this bin is fairly big, but actually a little bit smaller than what I had in my Roomba, and having a child that's very active and takes a lot of dirt inside the house, this was almost full actually when it did its first run. So I only have a 150 square feet house. So if you have an even bigger home, you might, actually run into trouble where this will be, almost full and all full, and some of it will sort of fall out. So you should probably take into consideration if this is a problem that you face, that you should vacuum more often so that it doesn't get to the level of amount of debris that it needs to pick up. But yeah, just something to be aware of. In the everyday life, this is a great device. It's easy to use. It's fairly easy to set up. It does speak Chinese. Once you get it out of the box, there are more than enough videos on YouTube on how to set it up. So I won't bother repeating that. But just to give you the quick schema, you download the app. You then go into the settings and you can download a sort of a voice pack for different languages, and you just choose English and then you're pretty much there. But the voice commands are simple, so it's not something that you spend a lot of time on. That's pretty much it. I would definitely recommend this. You get, I would say, a vacuum cleaner that's in the premium range if you compare it to the Roombas, but you only pay actually perhaps a little less than for the basic range of the Roombas. So this is one of the strongest buy recommendations I can pretty much give. It's well worth the money. So thumbs up from here, and if you have any questions or comments, just leave a note and I'll try and get back to you.